With you.
Hi, and welcome to Android Coliseum. This is Hangout 136 for October 14th, 2015. How's it going with you guys?
Good.
And how was Turkey Day? I know, Martin, you spent that alone?
Kind of.
Joyous solitude?
I actually took a trip down to Montreal. Unexpected. I wasn't supposed to go, and I was just told I had to get into the car and go.
Oh.
Awesome.
It ended up being a very late night because we got to Montreal at 11:30 and we left at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Ah.
That's the best time to be in Montreal.
And speaking of Montreal, how was your Thanksgiving, Siobhan? Do you guys do
Good.
that?
My parents are here for a visit, and we went to the States.
Cool.
Actually, we went last week, but we're busy here, and I'm going to give my mom the LG G4, so she's trying to get used to it.
Awesome.
She complained about a few things. I told her, if you have complaints, you can leave the phone here.
All right.
Oh, well, that's pretty out there.
She's used to her Nexus 4.
Okay.
So she likes the pure experience. She's still getting used to the launcher and all that stuff.
Well, at least she's used to Android.
She loves Android. Yeah, she's on Android since the Nexus S.
Oh, good for her.
Yeah.
I don't hear many.
My whole family is on Android. My father has a Nexus 4. My mom, my brother has a Nexus 5. My grandma has a Samsung tablet. So we're all Android.
That is so unusual, because usually you hear older people my age, that are more into Apple because it's so simple. And Ryan, how was yours? Thanksgiving.
Not bad. Pretty standard Thanksgiving fare. Family all over. We spent the weekend cleaning the house, and then now relaxing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And we went to The Hat, which Martin didn't know meant Medicine Hat, Alberta, hub of 3, I think,
People.
highways in the middle of nowhere. But don't tell people from Medicine Hat that.
All right.
So let's get on and look at, I give Fred a hard time about that. It's like, is that like in the middle of nowhere? No.
Pretty much.
But a nice place, Let's get started. So, Ryan, you have a Kickstarter announcement.
Yeah, so starting Monday, it's supposed to start on Friday. I wrote about this a little while ago. The Astro speaker. This is made by a company called Tree Labs, and they're really working hard to make this speaker. And their big thing is, and I don't really quite understand it because they haven't really fully explained it to me, but the idea being is it's going to be pure audio. So whenever you get any other Bluetooth speakers, and I don't have any here, apparently there's a little bit of a digital sound processing that goes on within the speaker itself that'll sort of remove a lot of the complexity and layers, etc. into it. So you're getting not only a digitally processed sound in the phone, then when it transmits it, it processes it again. So they're trying to do is ensure that the sound that comes out of the speakers is true to the original file as possible. So it'll be very interesting to think. I think you're looking at about $100 for this speaker. I kind of like the little look of it. It has that little thumb ring kind of thing you can dangle it with from that thing. But only one button, so one just power button to turn it on, and it's supposed to be really good. You look at the engineers who are on it, and these are guys who worked at Kenwood, etc. So kind of interesting to see for $100 Bluetooth speaker. Martin, thoughts?
So pure to the original sound. So like there's going to be no digital reprocessing and no compression.
Well, that's what my question was to them, and they really said, "Well, just removing the sound processing." And I'm like, "Well, it's already been processed as you put it into an MP3, right? It's already compressed that way."
So what they're trying to say is being reprocessed again before it's actually played onto speakers or Bluetooth speakers we currently have.
The way they explained it to me was that on a speaker, that there is processing that goes on within the speaker. So when it gets a signal, that they again process it, whether optimize it for that speaker or something. They're just going to remove that layer.
Okay.
That cleans up as clean as possible. So kind of interesting to see what they're going to do with it.
definitely, because I know we have really high-end sound system at home, and there's a lot of little absorbing things that we have around to flatten the sound in terms of absorbing all the peaks and everything. So yeah, that'll be quite the interesting thing. Next up, Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter.
Is changing.
Just a bit. I mean, they're adding something new to Twitter, which is called moments. And essentially, Twitter is going to actually label some of your tweets where you're going to have some moments or past moments, and it's going to show you what's relevant to what you most likely are going to like that see. So I've seen it a couple of times on my device, and it's been interesting, but nothing relevant that I actually need to see because I don't actively follow Twitter. It's more because I use it to post more than anything else. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting to see how this develops.
Ryan, you have a comment?
So I have a comment question because like I don't do Twitter. I'm on it. I monitor it now and again for the website. And everybody tells me it's the be all and end all to really spread the word, I guess. But what I had to keep turning off. And this is a while back. The feature that to notify me of past tweets. Oh, what's going on in your area? You might be missing out on something. I had to turn that feature off. Now I'm getting a notification shade. Like in the notification shade, you can see two different tweets in there. Is that what Moments is? That's what it is? It's like, oh, so-and-so said this, and somebody else said that. And I'm like, but I turned that.
Essentially, yes. It's part of the Twitter environment. But you'll actually notice in your tweets, if you actually open up Twitter, it's going to say at the bottom, #moments. You're going to see it.
Is it at all like like Facebook gives me now, like, remember this day 5 years ago?
You know, similar to that, except with current things that are happening with the people that you have in your following.
Okay.
Yeah. My Twitter
use these moments to compare weather. What was the weather 3 years ago?
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly.
Oh, we were wearing
man,
t-shirts.
how Canadian are we? Like, we talk about the weather on the Hangout, we just use Twitter to compare
Exactly,
weather.
right?
I have to say that even though I've been on Twitter a long time, I used to like it when I could have TweetDeck in a window and just follow and it updated automatically, but now it's always, you have more tweets, you have to refresh the page manually, and I don't know. I've got my 150 people or whatever that I pay attention to.
I'll never really like Twitter.
It's just not for me.
Trying, but it's, not for me.
It's
I'm on
say.
it. I'm on it.
It's for somebody else, that's fine. It's like we keep hearing, Google Plus is a ghost town, right?
I guess. Okay, well, let's move on. OnePlus is bringing out another device this year. It's a OnePlus X, and it's a smaller device, but pretty good. It looks like it has some pretty good specs. It is a 5-inch device, full HD LCD display, 2 gig of RAM, 32 gig on board, 13 megapixel rear, and 5 megapixel front. Has a 3,000 milliamp hour battery, and I mean, looks pretty nice. It is a slab, so I would imagine it will be running. No, it is using ClearForce technology, which is like Apple's 3D Touch tech, and it's going to be a mid-range, which I don't even know what that means for OnePlus. What do you guys think?
Well, seeing as their never settle model settled on a few things, the mid-range is going to be. No, I'm only kidding. Who knows? I mean, I think this is something that the people have asked for since the OnePlus One originally came out. That they wanted a smaller. Don't want to exactly have to get a 5.5-inch screen. So 5-inch obviously is what people want.
Yes, except people always use that for an excuse to pawn off. I'm really happy with my phone right now.
Are you really?
We had that conversation earlier.
Yes, I think I'm making a change.
Good thing of RAM sounds not so good.
You know what? Any time somebody says that they're going to be having a smaller compact version, I want to actually just grab them, shoot them.
Really, I don't know why they can't just do a small. Why can't they just say, okay, here's for instance our LG G4, and it's only going to have a 5-inch screen, but it's going to have the same specs. So wow, it's going to blast your eyeballs off with this really
And
high
if it
resolution
actually
stuff.
had the same specs, okay, awesome. But in most cases, camera's going to be smaller, battery's going to be
Hmm.
smaller, processor's
It's
going to be
like
smaller.
Yeah,
defined
but the
things.
Z3 compact is the exact same as the
Shut
Z3.
up. I am done. You
Well,
should not be enraged when you go to take a picture. It should be a fun, happy experience. And today it was not.
Have you tried? I'm not trying to be facetious here, but have you tried like just a different camera app instead of the Sony one?
Yes, I have, and I did end up actually using. All I wanted to do was take a panorama picture for this course that I'm doing. So I found I found that if I used the button from the lock screen, it didn't work. So then I turned it on, and it was either you're panning too fast, too slow, or I don't know, not holding your mouth right. I'm done. So, and also the OnePlus X is not an option. So let's move on. We heard about this sounded like a pretty scary malware, and actually, Martin is really an IT guy, not just an IT wannabe guy. Martin, tell us about this ghost push malware.
So Ghost Push malware was first spotted the 18th of September, so about a month ago. And what happened is that it wasn't in the wild. It wasn't on some random Russian website. It was directly on the Play Store. And the way it got spotted by Cheetah Mobile, and they noticed that several applications that were actually popular were embedded with the malware. And basically, the malware allowed anybody to take control of your phone, root it without you knowing, get full access, and install additional software, make purchases on your behalf, charge extra charges to your phone, and they racked up a pretty nice little penny. Like, they were talking of about at least a dozen, if not more, of applications that were infected in the Play Store. And a lot of people went on to say, oh, there's no security on the Play Store and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's not the case. This was an unknown variant, completely put on the Play Store, so even with high heuristic capabilities, more than likely this malware would have gotten undetected, and it passed through all the screening process. So yeah, it's possible to get applications on the Play Store and have them infected, and there's not a whole lot we can do until it's too late. So they had infected nearly 900 million devices worldwide.
Wow. So how, like, I'm wondering how they do that routing, because a lot of the new devices, it's just not that easy to root.
Apparently, it's easier than you think.
Some of them just need one button root. I have it on my Oppo. Some of them are very easy. It takes me a second. I click a button and it's rooted.
And it's done. Your phone reboots. Next thing you know, you
Yeah.
got Super SU running on your device.
Yeah.
Well, you can have root without Super SU because that would be just the privileges app.
Yeah,
But my bigger question about this whole story is, everyone's talking about Android being unsecure, etc. But the idea is, how did those apps get that insecurity put into it? Was it the developer who wasn't paying attention? How did that malware get itself into the back end of the Play Store? Because that's the bigger story. Because usually the only way to do that is for that developer, when they have their new APK, to upload it, or if somehow they get into Google itself and they get that. So how did that come about?
compromised accounts.
How to do it?
Accounts that weren't using two-factor authentication with weak passwords.
So, but then again, it comes back to, is it Android that's at fault here? No, it comes down to the user.
Yeah, it comes down to the user.
Well,
but, you
to
know,
some extent. I mean,
there's faults on both sides.
yeah,
Definitely. But I guess it's not a matter of, Android's inherently, at risk. It's the user who puts the system at risk, or the developer. So my thing is, not that I would want to vilify anybody, but I would say, you know what, this is more, we should really be hand-slapping the developers for allowing their system to get compromised to bring it into the Play Store.
Yeah,
That's the scenario. So
I'm going to say, though, that, one of the things with getting stuff from the Play Store is it is supposed to be more secure, and, so they have to do their due diligence as well. And it sounds like they do try, and this was just something that
It went under the radar because there was no previous known
Hmm.
variant of that type, so it went under the radar undetected.
And I'm sure
Yeah,
that now that it's been detected, what's going on?
So now that they know about it, they've implemented security. So if it's possible that if somebody comes out with other variants, they'll get detected as well. Maybe not instantly, but faster than like in the span of a month.
Yeah. Well, so much of this thing, it just takes a small change and you're undetected. So, no, I'm sure it happens to other operating systems as well.
I mean, it happens to any type of system, whether it be Android, iOS, Windows, Linux. It happens everywhere. It could be your simple on-hub router that's sitting on your desk right now.
Don't jinx it. Knock on wood.
So let's move on. Thirsty app. Good for Toronto. What is that?
It's good for Toronto. It's good for Ottawa. Basically, it's going to be an app system similar to the way I could equate that to kind of like Uber, but for delivery of goods, where you can actually buy beer, wine, spirits online, and
Ah,
and they have a certain menu of stuff that you can actually order from, and they'll actually deliver to your door. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to use it tomorrow to order stuff and see how that works, and I'll report back on that.
sounds good. I'm curious as to how it would work here. We do have just private liquor stores, but I don't know that they would. I think right now our economy's depressed. We'd
Well,
probably end up getting owed a lot of money.
the way this works, it's pretty simple. It's
I
a
need
driver.
more.
Yeah, the driver's in a car, gets a
Order.
request on his app, goes to the store, gets whatever you want, delivers to your address, and there you go. And obviously, there's going to be some kind of surcharge where they make their money as well. So,
Right.
because right now
Well,
I
yeah,
could, because right now I use a service that delivers booze here, and it's going to cost me $10 for the delivery. So if this app is cheaper than the $10 delivery, I might start using that more often.
And you can do it by an app. That's the thing, right? I don't
yeah.
want to have to think or
Yep.
call or I want bloop bloop bloop.
Mhm.
Well, you'll have to report back tomorrow, Martin. And you can roll on to the new Senior VP of Android Chrome and Chromecast.
Yeah, definitely. Android, Chrome OS, and Chromecast. The new senior VP is Hiroshi, which not a whole lot of people knew. Well, some people were expecting it, but not everybody knows who he is. And he used to work under Sundar Pichai when he was the senior VP himself. So he's just like moving up the ranks, and we're looking forward to see what the role will be and what he's bringing over to Android and Chrome OS and Chromecast now that he's at the reign, and we'll see what comes out of it. Hopefully some good stuff, and maybe hopefully nothing is going to scrap out everything that we currently see right now.
I can't.
Well, yes.
But
Well, it does
apparently
show that.
he's highly respected, so we'll see how that goes.
I know a lot of these guys sort of get their rock star status after they move into these. Until then, they sort of stay under the radar as
The
good.
shadows like around my apartment.
Yes. Hopefully, he's not in the shadows in your apartment. I'm just saying, if he is, what have you been doing, Martin?
I know, right?
So, tap to pay, it's a big thing right now, and TD's had a lot of different options. Some of them more successful than others. And Ryan, you're going to talk about Apple Pay coming to TD.
Well, that's the thing. So I believe it was Phone Arena or somebody posted today that the TD's app or TD's something by TD came out actually outed out the date of when Apple Pay was going to be acceptable for TD. And you go, oh, well, if Apple Pay is available, does that open the door? Because TD has had their app, their own tap to pay, sort of proprietary already. Does that mean they're opening the doors to other third-party tap to pays? So obviously Apple Pay is coming out. Does that mean they're going to open the door for Android Pay? Are they going to open the door for Samsung Pay? And just today we learned that apparently there's also going to be coming a GPay. Of course there's going to be a GPay, LG's version of a tap-to-pay system. And I still have yet to get that Yugo thing to work afterwards.
I have yet to get that. Well, and I didn't get the TD app to work before I switched over. So
I can complain. Everything works with RBC. I don't know what you're talking.
Yeah.
For me, it doesn't work, and I kind of gave up on it. I'm waiting for
Android
Google
Pay.
Pay. Yeah, Android Pay.
Yeah,
My
and
lap, it won't work.
I
hopefully,
hear ya.
hopefully Android Pay is going
Hashtag Google hates Canada.
to.
Yeah.
I have Android Pay on my phone. It just currently tells me that the application has crashed the moment I tried to add a card.
Well, even if PayPal would work on Tap to Pay, I mean, it works for everything else.
PayPal Tap to Pay does work if you go to Best Buy.
If you go to places that take,
Really? That's
and
why
I
I
forgot
hear it
that
else with Tap to Pay.
that gives me an idea where I'm thinking about.
Because you can buy from a lot of retailers now with PayPal. You can go in the store, pick out
Yeah,
what you
that's
want, and
right.
just pay with your PayPal.
Oh, yeah? I
Yep.
didn't know that.
That's right.
Do you have a
Yes.
list of these stores, or?
Yeah, if you go on PayPal, they have a listing of all the merchants that actually accept PayPal.
Yeah, and actually quite a few do.
Yep, and Best Buy is one of them.
So,
I actually have a sizable PayPal credit right now. I want to burn off.
which is
That's
surprising
fine.
that Best Buy
I keep hearing about your credit, Ryan.
Yeah,
Because I'm
right.
cheap. I don't
Just
spend
like
anything. I don't
Just transfer
spend.
it to your bank
Jeez.
account. They don't
All
take
I
a
have
fee,
is
just
Shoppers
transfer.
Optimum points.
I think my PayPal is sitting probably at about $300 right now.
But you know you
I
can
think there's
transfer
money
it
in
for
there.
free to your bank account.
You
Yeah,
could,
see?
but
No. Mm-mm.
but this
It's
is like
it's my
I wanna-
spending free money.
yeah, it's spending stuff. This is the toy money.
Okay.
Come on.
Pay your
let me-
bills.
Okay. Sorry,
No,
I'm
it's
just going, how are you guys getting money in there?
I made $1 by selling
I
a
was supposed
picture.
to get $10 in there, but it didn't go in, so. Anyways, a lot of people are pretty pumped about BlackBerry's new Android device. Martin, you got a chance with a hands-on, did you?
Well, not so much a hands-on, but I was preview to a demonstration over at with some BlackBerry folks, and I was actually pretty impressed with what I saw. I'm actually hopeful that I'll be able to get a trial run of the device myself.
Cool. What do you guys think? Is that something you're waiting for? Well, not Savant, but...
I'm curious.
Well, you're curious, but I know you're very happy with your device.
You know,
Very
if BlackBerry does it right with this release, it might just be the next device that's going to be flying off the shelf for the business consumers.
Well, it certainly has, if they've done the keyboard and slider right, I can definitely see that, because I think there's a lot of people that do miss their keyboard.
Not only that, if they've initiated the hub properly over on the on the Android system, with the way it should, where they combine all the notifications, everything into one single location, which is what I've been dreaming of for so long now. It would be the perfect device for corporate users, because it's pretty solid. But they also need to bring in their security aspect and make sure that they do have the security to back up that device.
So that'll be interesting. Ryan, are you thinking about it at all, or?
I'm very tempted. Because it's a Canadian company, right? So obviously there's an opportunity to support Canadian companies when they can. I'm not sold on going back to a keyboard. For me, that's a bit of a backslide. But I'm thinking, like Martin says, if it's done right, you can see corporates just buying it like crazy. The only question is, because corporates that usually steer clear of Android because of the Play Store, are they going to be okay with this, which is sort of that mixture of both, right? So is BlackBerry going to offer that extra layer of security on top of that? So
I would think they'll have to.
I would think so. But for me, just always, does it allow me to weasel in the back door and say, like, well, if you've got that Android device, you should let mine in. I don't know if that follows the same logic or not, but that's just my opinion.
Yeah. I know at our work, I can take an Android device, but I have to install Good on it, and they have to be able to remotely detonate. So
Fire in the hole.
Needless to say, I'm just not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a new version of SwiftKey out. I know there's a lot of SwiftKey fans here. I'm not one of them. However, Martin, you are...
I am a SwiftKey lover, but this is SwiftKey Neural. Apparently, from what all the hype is with SwiftKey Neural is it's using a neural network to understand who you are, what you are, and how you're doing all the typing on the keyboard or using the flow, and eventually it will predict based on who you are, what exactly you want to send out, and at what time of the day, who, which person, and whatnot. And it's going to be interesting to see how that all mingles up together.
I will just be happy when my keyboard stops auto-correcting as I hit send. That's all I would like.
That would be
But
nice.
you guys want your keyboards to know you better than you do, or?
Yes.
Savon?
I welcome our computer overlord.
It'll be interesting.
Yeah.
So you'll have to keep us posted, Martin. You said it takes a little while for it to pick up everything.
Yep.
And we'll have to see. So Ryan, why don't you wrap it up? There's a couple of things out there, and then you have some reviews to talk about.
Yeah, so Kivo. So a long time ago, I talked about as Bluetooth lock. I have my door outside. So if it's made by Kwikset, I believe it's so Kivo is the name of the app. What you can do now is it's updated. So from the app itself, you can hit unlock and it'll unlock. Whereas before, I had to actually, as long as the Bluetooth is on, my phone's in my pocket, I can tap the button and it'll unlock for me. Now I can just be in the car, hit the unlock button, put it away, and it'll open the door. Or you can now do it on your watch. You can just go from the watch, unlock. I can still tap it and they'll still recognize and unlock for me, but kind of a cool feature. And
Cool.
as we talked last week, Android TO is a go. And right now, Savon is reminding us that there's a bunch of cheap flights on for Porter. So
The sale is tonight, and tomorrow it will be also on sale, but a bit more expensive, and then it ends tomorrow at midnight.
So book now.
Grab your flight, super cheap.
And if you look at some of the, just going to give you guys some of the names we're going to see here. We have Jake Wharton from Square, Don Felker from Agilevent, Anise Davis from Washington Post, Amanda Hill from Venmo, OnHub team is going to be there, Google Cloud is going to be there, and Bean Oceans are going to get some workshops as well about developing and stuff. So I know we're going to be there. If the first 100 people who go to the website to check it out, you get 15% off your ticket. And I can't remember what the tickets are. I think they're like $100 last year for the one-day event. So, which is a pretty good buy if you're looking at an event anyway. So, go.
Martin, you have a comment?
I do. I'm especially stoked for the OnHub team, the Google OnHub team. That I want to get more information. I want them to spew their shit out. I want to know all the deals about what they're going to be releasing, because I want to know what they're doing with this. Definitely, yeah.
And I think I'm going to do some tuning up with my OnHub this weekend. Maybe rename some stuff, because I see I have a whole pile of devices on my old wireless network that's sort of underneath my OnHub network. So time for some SSID tinkering.
That would be good.
So Ryan, there's some reviews up. There's the ZTE Grand X View. That is up, and the 8-bit
Zero. Tiny little remote control game player.
Cute,
So cute.
cute.
Anyways, so those are on the website. Check them out.
Okay, so we're pretty close to time, so let's wrap this up. You can say goodnight, say what's new and exciting, give a weather report, whatever.
Go
Let's
Jays.
start E.
Go Jays! Did you watch the game? Woo-hoo-hoo!
Go Canadians.
I will avoid anything sport related.
I'm not a big sports fan, but whoa, what a game!
My
Go
husband
Jays!
makes fun of me because I follow the hockey results only on Google Now, so I don't care to watch the game. I'm like, what, 3-2? He's like, since when are you into sports? I'm just reading you the results. The score from now.
Oh,
So I
priceless.
keep watching Google Now and on my watch, but I don't care about the game. So now I'm all into sports because it's on my watch. Hilarious.
Well, we spent a lot of time watching baseball on the weekend. I guess it was the Cardinals that we were following, and they lost their game tonight or something.
Aw.
Yeah.
But
The
Jays
Jays
won,
won.
so
Jays won. Oh, hell of a game. Hell of a game.
So go Google Now.
yeah. Okay, well, thanks for joining us, and we will be back next week.
Yeah.
So have a great weekend, have a great rest of your week, and see you then.
All right,
Okay.
see you folks. Cheers.
Nice.